there's a story coming out of there where police officers in South Bend are now facing backlash because they fatally shot a schizophrenic man instead of calling for mental health services. The man here is 51-year-old Dante Kittrell. He was shot and killed by police amid a mental health crisis. This per the South Bend Tribune. According to a written statement from the St. Joseph County Police Department, South Bend officers responded to reports from school employees that there was a suicidal man with a gun in a field near the school off North Sheridan Street around 11:45 a.m. Dante Kittrell, 51, was threatening suicide, and based on witness statements, the video of the incident appeared to be waving a handgun, police statement said. Now, according to police, officer-worn body camera and in-car videos show officers and negotiators attempt to de-escalate the situation for nearly 40 minutes, but all efforts were unsuccessful. Police said video shows Kittrell threatened to shoot multiple times before pointing the gun at officers. SBPD SWAT team officers then fired upon Kittrell around 12:30 p.m., who was then transported to a hospital and later died. Now, a video posted on Facebook captured the scene as police negotiated with Kittrell before ultimately killing him. Community leaders also were on the scene, and they've criticized the police response because the police did not allow them to interact with Kittrell, essentially to try to de-escalate the situation. And when I'm talking about individuals that he knew, I'm talking about his fellow churchgoers, his mother, people who knew him and tried to de-escalate the situation. Now, the Reverend J.B. Williams of Abundant Faith Family Ministries in South Bend reportedly witnessed the incident that he called a military-style operation in response to mental health crisis. Williams said he was called to the scene by a congregation member, but he was told it was against police protocol to allow him to approach the man in crisis. Now, a local mental health center previously created a pilot program to accompany police responding to mental health crises there in South Bend, but they were not called in this situation due to the supposed presence of a possible threat. They were available to respond to the incident on Friday. Rebecca Go, a member of Faith in Indiana's Jail Diversion Task Force, said, when they were not called, why they were not called, I do not know. They were the appropriate people to respond. South Bend Mayor James Mueller said it is uncommon to send a crisis response team separate from law enforcement when there is an imminent danger, adding that there is already difficulty to find officers to respond to situations that could end in death. I know there are a lot of calls for that, but in a volatile, potentially dangerous situation, I don't know that those teams are the ones that would go in, Mueller said. The thing is, the teams didn't even get the opportunity. The reality is, if you're working with an individual who's having a mental health crisis, a whole number of range of things could go down. And so if a mental health counselor is up to that and willing to take that risk, I think that that's the best thing to do, to allow them to go in, because as the mayor already says, it's hard enough to find police officers to respond to a situation where it creates a life or death moment. But there may be mental health counselors who do have that level of courage to step into situations like that. And so giving those officers or those individuals a chance to get involved and to use their skills and training to de-escalate a situation would seem to be the wiser thing to do, as opposed to send in officers who are already afraid to be there, who are wielding deadly weapons. A.B.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said we're sending in officers who are already afraid to be there, right? A suicide is a cry for help when you have a suicide attempt, and you couple that with mental health issues, right? People are already scared of the police in their own level-minded mental capacity. So just imagine having all of that going on at one time, what that could cause. This was the police opportunity to not only protect this man from his own mental derogation, but to serve him with the proper team and the proper people that he needed to bring him down from this moment and de-escalate this moment. Police are not trained to do this, right? They are trained for combat and they're trained for fight, and they're not even really prepared for that, as we continue to see on time and time again. So it's unfortunate that this man lost his life. And again, my prayers and my heart goes out to this family, because this man had a family. It's hard enough having someone in your family who is mentally ill. But the sadder part is that there were people there to support him and help him, and the police denied them the ability to do that. And now this man is gone. Imagine what that feels like for those people who were standing there, knowing that perhaps they were a little more prepared to help this man, and they could have saved his life. And the police just, once again, we see another black man gone at the hands of the police.
Yeah, and it is absolutely devastating. It was unnecessary. And there were counselors available as well as members of his family and loved ones who were willing to intervene. And so they had the courage, they also had the desire to not allow them to actually try to save his life, to de-escalate the situation. As far as I'm concerned, that is injustice.